Pattern recognition is powerful. It is so powerful. That's how you know, beat this matrix. It's how you beat the system, is recognizing the patterns of what is trying to keep you stuck in, the loops. That's how you beat the game. You start playing it. Hello? You start playing it because you see it and you recognize and you get in the code now. You're like, oh, that's what this is? Hey. All right. And we're back. Hello. What's good? It is officially spring. Do you all hear the birds chirping? Truly blissful day. Truly, truly, truly. I was guided to this spot today, which is really magical. Like, I've never been here. I'm low-key in somebody's backyard, but you know, hey. Do we really own the land? I question that. But today's message, I feel like I want to talk about many things, but I'm going to speak specifically. Is this focused on me? Or am I just that bright? I'm a light. Today I really feel called to speak on pattern recognition. And pattern recognition in love, in relationships, in cycles of your life, in career, in self. Because the more that we can see patterns of our life, we can move out of the familiarity, right? When you see a pattern multiple times, it's trying to tell you something. And a lot of times we aren't choosing to see what it's exposing to us, whether that be our subconscious belief, subconscious mind, whether that be, you know, physical experiences of love, of lack, of non-truth, you know, or even experiences of beautiful things too. Maybe things are reflecting to you what you really are, so you see yourself clearly, you know, and it's not just the low things or the non-beautiful things, but also the beautiful things too. Sometimes, you know, life is all about the ups and downs and the highs and lows, and it's knowing how to really be in that neutrality and be in the middle, and not allow yourself to get too taken up too high or too taken down too low, because life is about experiencing, and you know what I mean. But however, with pattern recognition, you have the ability to realize when certain things are appearing in your life, so you have the wisdom from experience to choose better or to choose different. And it really comes from being still, being introspective, being silent to listen. You can't be moving continuously and expect yourself to find an answer. You know what I mean? Because you're searching for it. You don't even have to find answers. They will come to you. But in this society, in this world we live in, where everything is instant and everything is constantly moving, people are forgetting to take breaks and pause. It's okay to be still and do nothing. It's okay to take a day of silence. You know, all of these things are necessary for us to connect to the divine creator and divine spirit of everything. But back to pattern recognition though, it's like, if you are seeing yourself constantly consuming the same food that isn't of your highest good, or if you see yourself dating the same people, sometimes you can be messing with people, they got similar spirits in different vessels, because you're not choosing to do the inner work that then controls and creates the reality that you really desire. And it comes from brutal honesty. I say that all the time. We have to be deeply honest with ourselves. We have to uncover the things that we may have suppressed, especially subconscious beliefs, especially things from our inner child, because how you are seeing things is also how your brain is replaying a feeling. A lot of times the brain will create the pattern actually, right? The brain is creating the pattern in your mind and is saying, this is what this is, this is what this is, this is what this is, because you've experienced it at one point of your life, especially as a child. The things we experience as kids, we are so subconsciously in our belief system that we don't even realize when it's controlling us. Our beliefs begin to control us if we don't take the reins and actually sit back and realize what we choose to believe right here and right now. And that's a big part of, like I said, the pattern recognition is that subconscious, because that's where patterns are stored, that's where patterns are created, and that's where they live, and that's where they thrive. And it's like, it will keep you in loops and patterns of life and cycles of life because it's comfortable. And that's what the mind does, right? The mind creates the pattern. The mind wants to be in comfort and of safety. So it will tell you and make you believe that this is something that you're used to, and that you should stay in this comfort and ease of it because you're used to it. Because going into doing something else, into the unknown, into the unfamiliar, is uncomfortable. That brings change. And the mind doesn't process change in the best way. It can be fearful. And it also just depends, like I said, on what you grew up experiencing, right? And also even your astrological sign, mutable signs are more adaptable to change because they're ruled by Mercury. And every time, we have like these Mercury retrogrades, people are uncomfortable because the change is it's just so powerful and it's unshakable, and you're not in control. And I think that's the biggest thing we have to get back into, is releasing control and acceptance of everything in this life. We are not supposed to control. Where would be the fun in life if we controlled every part of it? Like, where's the magic? Where's the miracle? How can the miracle appear if you want to control it? And it wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't be miraculous. It would be planned. And we have to get back into allowing, and that's a big theme for myself that I had to come into realization as we are here in spring and the seeds are being planted and everything is aligning, is allowing myself. You know what I mean? I've done and put in the intention, the work, the energy. I don't even like saying work, but I just put my intention really deep into passion, into purpose, that I have to allow it to receive. I have to allow myself to receive. I have to allow it to come into fruition, into the physical form, and feel grateful that I did everything I felt called to. And that's it. I don't want to anticipate it. I just want to be happy that I did it. And that feels good. It's about the feeling of wholeness and wonderfulness and goodness. But back to what I was saying about pattern recognition. No, it's like, you want to really study yourself. You want to study, this is why we journal. This is why I make videos. This is why we should. When I do sessions with people, I always recommend journaling. Record do an audio recording of your journal, and then listen to it, and then save it, and just keep it. Also helps activate the throat chakra, but that also is allowing you to let it go. And I feel like you're doing it 3 times. You write it, you say it, and then you hear it. And I feel like doing things in 3 is like a cycle completion. So that's a wonderful way of just being more aware of your patterns and journaling overall. You know what I mean? Writing is such a powerful tool. Like, I get it, meditation is wonderful as well, but I feel like writing allows us to get things out of our mind. And like I said, the patterns that we are replaying or repeating are in the mind first, right? And we will do things, like I said, of ease and of comfort because it's what the mind knows. And it's like, if you really want to break into another identity, version, timeline of yourself, you have to let go of old patterns, right? Old habits, old belief systems. And that comes from really going, deep into your mind and reprogramming it. Because you can't want to create a new pattern, a new life, or not even pattern. You don't want to have patterns, honestly. I mean, we want to have systems, but I don't think we should live in continuous patterns. Systems are like routines, but I think systems to me are better. It's not so time based, but it's like, this is what I know, this is what I've created for myself that is functional and that will bring me to my ultimate fulfillment. And it's not super time based, but it's just like, this is what works for me, right? Everything is built into systems. And it's like, I feel that if we focus more on building systems for our holistic wellness and ultimate fulfillment, spiritually, mentally, physically, holistically, then we wouldn't be caught in patterns, right? You have more clarity and more awareness of when something is repeating itself. And if you want it to repeat itself, then hey, yeah, sometimes you need to get in repetition of things so it becomes natural to you. But if you know something isn't of a pattern that you would like to, live in and be a part of your life, then you need to unravel the pattern. You need to see where it's starting from. And a lot of times it's starting from inside of you. Everything in this physical reality is a factor of you internally, right? Like if you think you keep attracting the same kind of job, the same kind of people, friendships, the same kind of health problems, it's because you're not focused on a part of yourself internally that is needing to be focused on, that is highlighting to you, hey, this is not in flow of your ultimate good and your ultimate fulfillment. But until you choose to be aware of it, we're just going to keep throwing it in your face. It's just going to keep being a problem, or keep being, something that you need to work on because you're choosing to ignore it, because you're choosing to avoid it. And we can't live in avoidance to anything. I feel like that's the biggest thing that our society is very caught up in, is avoidance, numbness, and finding solutions that are temporary, that don't really solve anything. It just satiates a hunger. It just makes you feel better in the moment, right? Instant. We live in an instant world, and it's like we have to get out of that instantaneous desire and pleasure, because if we want to be and live, and higher, not even higher, but just in more desired realities of love, of truth, and doing what we are here to do, and passion and purpose and joy, it's not going to always be, it's not instant, but you have to feel it already, and that will create the instant, reality if you choose it. But we can't allow ourselves to be distracted by substance or by people, even too, or environments that, become a part of the pattern, become a part of what is holding us back from ascending and growing and evolving. So we have to break that pattern, break that loop. And the more that you are able to, that's when your life starts flowing magically. That is when opportunities flow in. That is when love flows in, because you've dissolved the patterns and seen them clearly. And it's like you're choosing not to continue living in this way. And people such as myself as well, who have the ability to see patterns very clearly, who have really divine clarity, we flow and ascend through life very gracefully, very I won't say easily, because nothing's easy. It may appear to the outside world as easy, but it's never easy. Life isn't about ease and comfort, It's about experiencing and journeying, and it may be painful at times. When there is joy, there is pain, but it's about knowing how to move through it and not get stuck in it. And that's where, when you can recognize a pattern within yourself, within your life, you really become powerful, because you're not allowing yourself to become stagnant and distracted and complacent. You know where you want to be as well, right? And I think that's the biggest thing too, before even figuring out your patterns, is where do you want to be? What do you want to do in life? What are you here to do in life? What do you feel called to? You have to figure out those things, so then you are aware of what is not getting you there, so you can do what will get you there. And a lot of times it is, the habitual patterns, the subconscious patterns and belief systems. But like I said, that comes from introspection, that comes from stillness, that comes from journaling, that comes from talking to yourself, being a Mother Earth, being alone, heavily on being alone. I believe community is beautiful, and relationships also do show you shadows, very much so. And they also will allow you to break patterns, because you will realize, hey, I'm not on this frequency anymore. This isn't resonating with me anymore. So it's time to break this loop and this cycle of being, so I can truly be who I know I am. Right? So I'm not saying isolate yourself, but take time to yourself. Know when to come out of seclusion and hermit mode, but also know when you need to lock in with self. It's a balance. And like I said, with breaking these patterns, it's all you. This whole reality is you. And you have to be very deeply connected to yourself on a soul level, on a spiritual level. I think more and more I go into soul more than spirit, because soul is our internal self, and spirit can be internal, it can be external as well. It can be, the spirit world is all around us. The spirit is in the trees, the spirit is in other people, but your soul is in you. And you want to really be so deeply connected and not caught up too much in the physical, right? The physical is a beautiful playground, hey, but don't get too lost in it, don't get distracted. And I feel like we live in a time and age where it's very easy to get distracted, and it's very easy to get comfortable. And I know some people's lives are meant to be like that. I'm not here to make any judgment towards anyone. Take that time to experience something for yourself, so you know what you really want. And that's where I go back into what I was saying before about just recognizing patterns. Is like knowing yourself, knowing what you are here to do, knowing what you want to do. So then you can recognize when this is an alignment and this is not. This is a pattern, loop, and cycle I'm continuously choosing to live in by taking these actions, and then choosing to do the complete opposite, right? Study yourself. Be a student of yourself. You have all the answers. Source, God, the creator, the wisdom is all within you. Your soul memory, the bloodline of your ancestors, their wisdom is within you. Don't give your power away trying to be a follower, trying to receive confirmation and validation from the outside world. You break the pattern. You know the truth. You hold power within you. So yeah, I just feel like as we go into this new year, I really want us all to be focused on realizing patterns. This is a 10-year and 1-year new beginnings. We have closed out the cycles of the 9-year. So it's time to be very clear. Be very assertive. Be very sure of yourself. And also listen to your spiritual self. Listen to those spiritual gifts, your soul knowing, your intuition. Listen to that. Don't wait for something to happen in a 3D for you to then trust yourself. Trust yourself from the first feeling you felt. Trust yourself from that intuitive gut knowing you felt. Don't try to rationalize it and get all in your mind about it. Listen to your body as much as you can. You know what I mean? And let that be your guide. Don't try to wait for something to happen in 3D so the pattern then happens, right? The pattern then manifests, the loop, the cycle, the thing that you've been doing for years then happens again because you didn't listen to what you knew you needed to do or not do the first time. So that's what I know for myself I have to do is really trust in my spiritual gifts, trust in the 5D energies, the dreams, the channeling, the messages, you know what I mean, that I'm receiving, that are telling me what I need to know and what I need to do, instead of waiting for something in a 3D to confirm it. The 3D is slow. The 5D is fast. Don't slow down because you waiting on something to happen in the 3D. That's you allowing the reality to control you when you are supposed to be controlling the reality. And I don't even like to say control, but that's how you let the reality create you instead of you creating your reality, right? It's not supposed to be like that. It's not. We have this consciousness and this awareness now. You know, I love spirituality, but also tap into quantum physics. You know, balance it. I love science in that way, you know, of just seeing that we're really limitless, and spirituality also confirms it in belief. And that's why it's like you have to be so deeply rooted in beliefs of love, joy, and bliss, of elevated emotions that allow you to see that life is really all a reflection of you. So break that pattern of thinking that things are happening to you. They are happening for you. Break the pattern, the loop, and the cycle of distraction, of procrastination. Take action. This is a year of taking action. Take action on what you are called to do. No more slowing down. This is a fast year, baby. This is the fire horse. You either gonna get burnt or you gonna ride, okay? Don't get burnt. Ride that nigga. Ride him and hold on and, you know, sustain yourself. But yeah, I just wanted to share. Felt called to on this beautiful sunny day. I've been doing my parasite cleanse, y'all, and I did it. It's been 1 week. I started last Friday. I want to do one more week, and the clarity I have, man, the clarity is next level. So also cleanse and purify what no longer serves you as well. Like I said when I first started with pattern recognition, knowing and being aware of what is feeding you and what is not, like blatantly, what is feeding you and what is not, and seeing the pattern clearly. If this is not feeding me, then this doesn't need to be in my life. If this is feeding me, then I need to eat, consume, live in more of this, with more of this. I need to make this a part of my system, right? So yeah, like I said, it's all about awareness of self and you choosing. Remember your free will and see your patterns clearly. See what you don't like, man. See what you don't like. See what is not doing the best for you. See, like, really get to the root of the nots, the don'ts that don't feel good, that are not for you. So then you know exactly what is. We can a lot of times know what we want, to know what feels good, but deciphering what doesn't is a game changer, because then you will physically, mentally, spiritually know, okay, this isn't for me, and I've already written it now, and I've made it very clear to myself what I don't want. So I'm not going to keep putting myself in these cycles and patterns and loops, because I see it. And that's what recognition means, is you seeing it and recognizing it, and now you're choosing to do something different. So yeah, pattern recognition is powerful. It is so powerful. That's how you beat this matrix. It's how you beat the system, is recognizing the patterns of what is trying to keep you stuck in, the loops. That's how you beat the game. You start playing it. Hello? You start playing it because you see it and you recognize, and you get in the code now. You're like, oh, that's what this is? That's not it. That's not what I want. That's not how I want to live. That's not what I'm settling for. Stop settling. That ain't for you. Stop settling. Just because it feels good doesn't mean it is good. Things can feel good also in the moment and not mean holistic wellness for you. Like, really. Like, I even want to speak personally. For me, I realized a big inner child pattern that I was living in my subconscious is attachment, deep attachment to love, to people, to my partners, where I get so instantly attached to them because the inner child in me wants to be loved. But I realized that I want to be valued. I want to be valued before I'm being loved, truthfully, right? Like, I don't want to choose just love, 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 but do you value me? Do you value this love I'm giving you? Do you value me as a being, as a person, as a energy, vessel, frequency? Like, are you honoring that? Because if you don't, then the love don't mean nothing, truthfully. So you have to choose and see what subconscious triggers are in your mind. And I feel like a lot of times it's that inner child, man. A lot of barriers in the subconscious, but we can overcome them. Barriers can be overcome, but you just got to recognize the pattern. All right. And I'm done, and we're out. Have a beautiful spring. Happy New Year. It's a magical year. I feel it. I just feel it. It's that year. It's that season. But yeah, y'all have a beautiful life. Have a beautiful day. Subscribe. And I always have one-on-one services. I'm actually might be shifting out of that, so if you do want a one-on-one, let me know. Retreat in Rio this June. Come travel with me. Come see the world and create your own experience of life. That's what we're here for. Peace.